What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy VoltGamer2K7. Good morning and happy New Year to everyone. I hope y'all have a good New Year. It's now 2026, and for today, I'm reacting to a horror anime story called 3 Scary True New Year's Eve Story. Now, this is gonna be my first video of doing a horror video that I'm gonna do. So before we get to it, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get the video started. Ugh. Is that a pumpkin? Horror Stories Party. Okay. New Year's Eve Horror Story 1. The countdown. From hell?
This happened in the early 2000s when I was a little girl. Leading up to New Year's Eve, my parents had just bought a brand new computer and kept it in the living room where I was only allowed to use it under their supervision. Of course, that didn't stop me. Whenever I wanted to play games or surf the internet without my parents breathing down my neck, I would sneak out of my bedroom after they fell asleep. At night, I could do whatever I wanted, but the one thing I did most was chat with this girl named Christine who I became friends with online. Over time, we became very close, talking almost every night until we called each other best friends. I opened up about how strict my parents were, while she talked about her parents didn't seem to pay any attention to her at all. We discussed a meeting in person many times, but we discovered that we lived nearly 50 miles apart, which was an impossible distance for either of us to cover at that age. Then, one day, close to New Year's Eve, Christine broke some incredible news. She said her older brother had just gotten his license and could drive. This was a big deal because I could finally meet Christine face to face and hang out with her versus chatting online. We eventually hatched a plan. I had always complained that my parents never let me stay up until midnight on New Year's Eve, so Christine said her brother would pick me up at my house right after my parents went to sleep. He would then drive me over to Christine's, where we would watch the fireworks show in her neighborhood. Then he would drive me back to my house before my parents woke up in the morning. I was excited as hell and felt like a rebel for once. I was tired of obeying such strict rules all the time and being told what I could and couldn't do. It felt good trying something new for once. On the night of New Year's Eve, I waited up in bed until 10 p.m. My parents always fell asleep before then. Soon after, I looked out my window and saw the car parked on the street just past my driveway. That was him, Christine's brother, there to pick me up. I snuck out of the house, then went up to the car and tapped on the window. It opened just a crack, and in the darkness, I could barely see his face. He said he was there to pick me up, just like we had planned, so I got in the back seat. Once inside, I started to feel a bit nervous. I still couldn't quite see what he looked like, so I tried to
I feel sorry for her for having strict parents. Thank God that I don't have strict parents. Because I will lose my mind. No person, no child should not be raised by strict parents. Like, if you have strict parents, then what's the point and having kids. Like you can't have kids if you are a strict parent, like a strict father and a strict mother. That is some extra shit. That's extra. I'm not doing that. I can't have that.
Conversation, hoping it would make things less uncomfortable.
So, where's Christine?
I don't know.
What do you mean? Is she waiting at the house for me?
I made her up.
What?
Christine is a lie. I made her up.
What? No. Why?
To get to
You
you.
just hate this?
Let me out! Let me out!
By the time I realized I had walked into a trap, I was already racing away from home at 60 miles per hour. There was no way out, no way for me to get the
That is
better
crazy.
of him. I couldn't break through the window or find any sort of weapon. I
So
couldn't even try to
that
choke him
that
without
dude
pulling my arms
catfished
away
her.
from his neck like they were made of ribbons. To make matters worse, it was the middle of the night, and all anyone was focused on were parties and fireworks. When he pulled into the driveway of his house, there wasn't a single person on the street I could call for help. As the garage door closed behind us, I felt like I was being buried alive. The next thing I knew, he was dragging me out of the car as I kicked and screamed, fighting for my life. He took me into his basement where he tied me up and shackled me to the wall of his dungeon. I was too innocent to know what was about to happen to me, but I was sure it was going to be worse than anything I could possibly imagine.
What the heck you about to do to her?
6, 5, 3, 1. Happy New Year! Oh, my dear sweet wife, don't cry. It's time for the real fireworks.
What are you about to do to her?
I never left that dungeon, not as the same person I was when I was
what'd you
forced
do?
into it
But what'd
anyway.
you do to you?
For days, that monster held me captive and kept me in misery, torturing me, destroying me, and taking videos of it all for the internet. It took nearly a week for the authorities to catch
Bro.
up and rescue me, but by then,
Oh,
there was little left of me to free.
talking about.
Allegedly, the police had gotten an anonymous tip from one of his online viewers, which led them to my rescue. My entire life since then has been a slow, agonizing crawl back to a semblance of normalcy. Every New Year's Eve, it feels like I'm right back where I started.
Okay.
On New Year's Day of 2002,
That's exactly
a young
why.
female named Alicia
Little kids,
Kozakevich
girls or boys, should not try to sneak out at night and be like trusting. Oh, it could be about the friend. Because here's the thing, I had that happen before. Like for example, I used to get catfished like 2 times already, thinking that I'm talking to a girl, but really it's just a boy who doing some weird stuff. But I never had experience of me got catfished and then got taken away. It got locked up, whatever call it. Nah, I never done that. Like, but those of you who had that experience, I feel sorry for y'all. But at the same time, it's kind of half of your fault because apparently, like, you should have snuck. You should have snuck out. You could just stay home. You know you have some strict parents, but at the same time, you need to just stay home. That way, you will be safe. That's simple. Just be safe. Unless you're with a friend.
disappeared from her suburban Pennsylvania
Otherwise,
home
you'll
following
get
the
traumatized
family
like that.
dinner. Suspicions that Alicia may have been lured by someone she had met while chatting on the internet proved to be true. For 4 days, Alicia had been tortured while she was held captive in the basement by a 38-year-old computer programmer who she met in an online chat room months earlier. The horrific images of Alicia's torment in captivity were posted on the internet by her abductor. Authorities were able to track Alicia from an anonymous tip from one of her abductor's online acquaintances to a townhouse in Virginia where they found her chained to the floor with a locked collar around her neck. in what Alicia describes as a dungeon.
What the heck does allegedly means?
Alicia originally developed a close online relationship with Christine, whom she believed was a 14-year-old girl with long red hair. Alicia later learned that Christine was a 42-year-old man, but in the online world where identity is often ambiguous,
how old is he?
Alicia-year-old man, but in the hair. Alicia later learned that Christine was a 42-year-old man, but in the online world where identity is often ambiguous, Alicia remained friends with Christine. Eventually, Christine introduced Alicia to the man who would later become her abductor. Alicia's abductor is presently serving out a 20-year prison sentence.
This sounds like it's on some Diddy crap stuff.
Listen, it's called Connect Team, and it's insane. I don't do schedules or timesheets manually anymore.
The brother that ruined New Year's Eve. Let's see how it is.
I lived with my mother, brother, and 3 sisters. Unfortunately, our father has been gone for many years. My brother, being the oldest child and only son, believes this makes him the man of the household, but he's anything but that. He's just a piece of shit. He just bullies all of us, including my mom. When my dad was around, we could at least rely on him to keep us safe. But ever since he left, my brother took control of everything. He easily overpowers us by force whenever he wants. Our only advantage is that we outnumber him, but that doesn't mean he isn't able to single us out when he gets the chance. Recently, however, my mom wanted us to do something as a family for New Year's Eve, so she booked us a hotel room. I don't know where she got the idea from, but I suspect my brother had something to do with it. Or maybe she thought it would help us form a better relationship with him. But as cramped as our house was, the hotel room we found ourselves in that night brought us into a world of absolute hell. The problem started almost right away when we tried to discuss the sleeping arrangements. My brother wanted the big bed in a larger private room meant for parents all to himself, leaving the 4 of us girls and our mother to fight for space on the 2 tiny beds in the main room. When we said that wasn't fair, he grabbed our youngest sister and said she would share the bed with him to make space for the rest of us. This caused everything to explode into madness. We knew he was going to do something horrible to her, and he was clearly willing to trade her for me or either of my other sisters. Our mom, desperate to defuse things, offered to take her place, but he said he would rather die than sleep next to someone as old, fat, and ugly as her. For hours, we fought and fought until it was almost midnight. Suddenly, our mom told us all to stop so we could at least appreciate the whole point of why we came to the hotel in the first place. To watch the countdown to New Year's and the fireworks that followed. We all knew the argument would resume as soon as the show was finished, but everyone seemed tired enough to take a break, even if it was only for a few minutes. So, we all gathered on the small balcony just outside our room. It was freezing,
what the heck is wrong with that dude?
Wanted to huddle together for fear of our...
Just because their father is gone for many years, he has the audacity to act like his father, or a father be like, "Oh, I'm gonna be abusive. I'm gonna be the man of the house." Like, does he pay bills? Like, does he? Like, all he doing is bullying his siblings and his own mother. What kind of person does that? Like, who does that? Well, thank God I don't have the family, and if y'all don't have that family, thank God for y'all. And y'all, if y'all do, pray that is gonna go away. Like, once you guys be older and move out, whatever stuff is. Cause I see in this world, or some worlds, some worlds, or whatever you call it. This is a wild, crazy world. How messed up people are.
Brother touching us. For 10 unbearably awkward seconds, we counted down as one family. Then the fireworks started, enough to keep us distracted for just a moment. Sadly, my brother tried to use the fireworks as a diversion. While he thought nobody was looking, he put his hand over my little sister's mouth and tried to pull her back inside the hotel. He managed to close the door on us, almost locking us out. But my older sister noticed at the last second and grabbed the door to keep it from locking. Then my mom joined her and they ripped the door open. Before I knew it, the two of them and my older sister rushed inside, leaving the door wide open for me to follow. But I didn't. The fireworks were still going on for a little while. I figured there wasn't any point in trying to change anything anymore, so I decided to enjoy one nice thing in my life while I could. Just when I thought I had a moment to myself, all hell broke loose. I looked back inside moments later and saw my brother with a knife. He charged after my sisters, but my mother jumped in the way to protect them. He then stabbed her without even flinching. When he was done with her, he didn't hesitate to finish what he started. It didn't matter if they ran or fought back. He caught them and was trying to take them all out, stabbing and slicing them one by one. I had to get away, but there was only one way out, down. I climbed over the railing of the balcony and started to make my way to the lower level. But by then, I had already waited too long.
Let's go over this one last time, Mr. Arshad. These bodies, they are your family, correct?
My mother and beautiful sisters, yes.
And you did these things to them, right?
I poked them and cut them until they were dead.
So, you killed them?
I did! At the stroke of the new year.
Okay.
This dude is psycho!
Midnight, until housekeeping found you at 7 in the morning.
This dude is psycho.
What were you doing?
Do you really want to know?
Oh my...
Yes.
Do you really want to know?
Yes!
Do you really want to know?
Just tell me! Tell me, goddammit!
Well, it's the holidays, isn't it? We finally had some family bonding time.
A 24-year-old man has been arrested after the bodies of his mother and 4 sisters were found inside a hotel room on Wednesday, January 1st. Mohammed Arshad was detained after he reportedly admitted to taking out his family amid a New Year's Eve dispute. It was mentioned that Arshad allegedly served his family food and drinks containing an unspecified drug before he took them out with a knife.
I haven't been to the grocery store in months because this delivery service offers hundreds of high-quality, non-GMO groceries.
He must be possessed by a demon, or he took some crack or something. The New Year's truck.
One year ago, I was celebrating the final day of 2024. It would soon be 2025. My girlfriend and I wanted to celebrate New Year's Eve in New Orleans. We'd been there for Mardi Gras a few times, so we knew what to expect. The streets were packed. Parties spilled out of every building in sight. For the countdown to New Year, we made our way to the center of it all, Bourbon Street. We were as drunk as anyone there. The crowd was electric, almost overwhelming, but it felt so worth it just to be a part of something so amazing. As we counted down the last fleeting seconds of 2024, the energy amplified beyond belief. There was cheering and chanting, phones and cameras everywhere trying to capture the final moments of what had been one hell of a year. Finally, the clock struck midnight, and 2025 was here. Fireworks erupted from all directions and exploded overhead. As I leaned over to give my girlfriend a kiss, our moment was cut short by a sudden shift in the air. The cheers turned to shouting, then screaming. The year was less than a minute old, yet something was already wrong. If the crowd hadn't been so dense, we might have seen it sooner. Over my girlfriend's shoulder,
what's going on, bro?
I saw the first of many sights from that night which still haunt me. The crowd of people on the sidewalk behind her were panicking as a pickup truck plowed through them. Acting on pure instinct, I grabbed my girlfriend and jumped out of the way. We fell through the air as the truck flew past us. I held on to her as tight as I could, but just before I hit the ground, I felt her slip out of my hands. After landing on the ground, I immediately looked back at her, but she wasn't there. Her body was tumbling across the pavement, and that's when I realized the truck had hit her. It continued down the street, running over person after person in a mindless rampage. Then it stopped and began to turn around. It wasn't safe to go back on the street, but I couldn't leave her there. I had to get her out of the way before the truck came back to hit her again. I scrambled to my feet and ran to her, but the closer I got, the more I could see the extent of what had been done. Her clothes and skin were shredded, her arms and legs slumped like a rag doll. Her face was looking up, right at me.
Bro,
her neck was broken. I'll never forget the expression stuck on her face. That dull, confused shock, like she didn't even have a second to realize what was going on or even feel pain. As I stared down at her, watching the color of life still draining from her skin, I wanted to collapse, break down, scream in agony, but it had to wait. Not far away, I heard the truck revving and screeching, barreling towards me all over again. I panicked and ducked into the first alleyway I saw, just seconds before that monster blew past. That time, I caught a glimpse of the man behind the wheel. There was unbridled rage in his eyes, but not quite insanity.
Yo,
just
does this person look familiar?
Exactly what he was.
Like, does that face looks like from the guy, like one of those creatures from Attack on Titan? Like the face that where he wants to eat you. Am I right though? Girl, Attack on Titan almost gave me nightmares every time when they smile.
Doing, and he was never going to stop until all of us were dead. Cowering in that alleyway, my mind grappled with reality. It had all gone to shit so suddenly. I was bearing witness, trapped and powerless as that monster circled back and forth, murdering innocents with every pass, grinding the remains of his dead victims into the asphalt again and again. Eventually, it had to come to an end. The cops finally surrounded the truck, yet the psycho wouldn't quit. I watched as he stepped out and opened fire on the police without a moment's hesitation. He wounded a couple of them, but within a few seconds, they took him out. The instant he hit the dirt, I felt a wave of compulsion. I ran out into the street and right to my girlfriend. I wanted to be with her even though I knew she was gone. Looking back though, seeing her again after she had been run over so many more times was probably a mistake. In the aftermath, I was inconsolable, convinced it should have been me that died, not her. I should have just shoved her out of the way instead of trying to save myself too. I had to explain to her family the way she died, expecting to be torn to pieces for failing her. However, those who could manage to speak told me it wasn't my fault. There was only one man responsible, the man driving the truck. His name was Shamsuddin Jabbar. The police found a terrorist flag in his truck, as well as several videos he posted just before the attack. In them, he pled his allegiance to that evil cause, plainly stating what he planned to do. In the end, over a dozen people were killed that night, and many more suffered life-altering injuries. The funeral for my girlfriend was held a week later. Today, as New Year's Eve approaches once more, these memories have resurfaced, as crystal clear and painful as the day they were carved into me. If it is even possible to celebrate New Year's Eve at this point, I will be doing it alone. On January 1st of 2025, at around 3:15 a.m., Shamsuddin Jabbar, a 42-year-old American man, drove a pickup truck into a crowd on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, Louisiana, then exited the truck and engaged in a shootout with police before being fatally taken out. 14 victims were killed, plus the perpetrator, and at least 57 others were injured, including 2 police officers. The attack occurred during New Year's celebrations in the city, which was scheduled to host the 2025 Sugar Bowl later that day. The assailant, Shamsuddin Jabbar, was an American-born resident of Houston, Texas. An ISIS flag was found in the truck. It was stated that Jabbar had been inspired by ISIS. Jabbar had allegedly posted videos pledging his allegiance to ISIS in the hours before the attack.
Well, that is it for the New Year's anime 3 horror thing. I hope y'all like the video and seeing some interesting things, which is psychotic, crazy, mental shit. Like, no way. First, you get taken by a stranger that made up the friend. Second was the 24-year-old man dude who killed the family on New Year's. And number 3, there is a dude that has a face of Attack on Titan. Huh? No. That is weird. But make sure to like and subscribe. Happy New Year to everyone on the planet, and I'll see you in the next video.